Ah, shit. Here we go again.
So I'm on the yard one day, doing my ones and twos. At this time, I was, 6'2", maybe 275, 280. This, the biggest I ever been. Like, when I say I was like an Olympian god or something. That's all I used to do was just work out, just pump iron, eat and pump iron. So I got up to like a good 275 or whatever. So, I'm sitting up after I got done doing my reps, and I'm just looking around, and I see this light-skinned dude that I ain't never seen before. So I'm looking at him, I'm like, oh, dude must be new. I mean, how he was, you can tell when somebody new in prison by the way that they walk, the way you can just, they whole aura or whatever. So I'm just watching him. I'm like, oh yeah, he gotta be new or whatever, because he ain't know where to go. So I just see him naturally. Now he just walking the track or whatever. So I'm seeing Big Thomas. I'm seeing Purple Passion. I'm seeing all these booty bandits, right, gawking at him, looking at him, plotting. So I say to myself, I'm like, you know what? Usually I don't, put myself in predicaments where I just be like, hey, yo, you rolling with me now to save him from himself or save him from these cats or whatever. But I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and school the little homie, right? So I get up and, I got Tarty and Homicide and Ad with me. So normally when I get up like that, they know like, oh, it's time to go. Dante about to get into something. So, but I'm not getting into nothing. So I get to walking, right? And I got my 3 guys behind me. So we get, he see us coming now. Like we directly looking right at him. Like I got my mean dog face on, right? So when I get up on him, he like, hey, man, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I said, hold on, man, put your hands down. You good, man. I said, where you from? He was like, oh, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I said, you from the D? He was like, yeah. I said, what side? He was like, I'm off of Gratiot. I said, the east side? He was like, yeah, that's where I was born and raised at. I said, what streets? He was like, I was born on Barlow Street. I was raised on Barlow. I said, you went to Pulaski Elementary? He was like, yeah. I said, man, what's up, man? I stayed off of Barlow Street, right off of Gratiot. He was like, for real? I said, yeah. I'm like, man, what's up, man? Like, who your people? He got the name and people, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I know them, but now keep in mind, y'all, I'm way older than this dude. At this time, I was 26, and dude was maybe like 20. So I'm like 6 years older than him. So there's no way, me and him would have been, around each other or whatever. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm like, how much time you got? He was like, I got 20 years. I said, man, what did you do? So when I said that, he looked to the ground, like dropped his head. And he was like, I killed somebody. I said, who you killed? He was like, man, I don't really want to say. I said, look here, man, this prison, it ain't nothing really that you can say that would surprise me. I hope it wasn't, your kid or something. He was like, no, it wasn't my kid or nothing, but it was a kid. So when he said that, I felt my emotions and my body changing inside, because when I hear about kids getting hurt, because I had a kid out there that was 3 years old, and when you hear things about kids getting unalived or whatever, and you got kids, it make you feel some type of way. But I want to hear them out. I want to know what this was about, right? So I'm like, what happened? So he was like, man, I got into it with this dude.
Hey y'all, if y'all like action-packed crime fighting videos, check out my man King J and Queen ZZ. I'ma have their channel pinned at the top of the comment section for y'all to go check out.
Whatever, and I got to shooting at the house and I end up hitting the kid. Before we go on, I want to let y'all know something. Because I've been seeing lately on Facebook about little kids getting unalived, right? Due to dudes shooting in houses. Let me tell you something. Back in my day, in the mid 90s, early 2000s, we ain't do that. We ain't do drive-bys. Well, me and my crew, if we wanted you, we not hitting innocent people. I remember I waited for 2 days. 2 days in somebody's backyard in his doghouse. Dude had a pit bull. And I'm not going to say what I did to the pit bull, but I had to get the job done. And I slept next to a dog for 2 days, waiting on the cat, because it was personal. By the grace of God, this dude didn't come back. But I was in this doghouse for 2 days, laying next to his dog, because I knew who I wanted. I knew who my target was. And I knew when he came home to come feed his dog or check on his dog, I was going to get him. I had to get him. I don't understand how dudes be having so-called beef or whatever, but they want to shoot up into houses where there's women and children in there. Or they want to shoot up a car and they don't know. You first get verification that this is the man that you're looking for. A lot of these dudes is cowards. That's why in prison, in order to be in my crew, you had to catch at least 2 bodies in prison to roll with me. Because it's easy to get a gun out there in the streets. Oh yeah, it's easy to go find a gun. It's easy to get a gun in a job out there in the streets. So anybody can bang bang from a far distance. But in prison, it ain't no guns. You got to get up close and personal and put that sword of justice to work. And that's why I said in prison, to be the minimum to be down with me and my crew, you have to at least catch two minimum. And it had to be on some one-on-one types, not you doing it with a group of guys. No, it had to be in you taking another man's life. 2 men life minimum to be a part of my crew. And to keep it real with y'all, I'm not bragging about nothing, but on the real, ain't nobody from the mid 90s to like the end of the 2000s, I don't know nobody in any prison, Crips, Bloods, Gangster Disciples, Latino gangs, Mexican gangs, white gangs, black gangs. I don't know no crew that put more work in than me and my homeboys from Michigan, Ohio, Illinois. I don't know nobody. Now, when you mention my name and other members of my group in prison, people know we legendary. Now, I know there's gonna be cat. We finna get back to the story, but I gotta put this out there. I know there's gonna be cats gonna be like, "Oh, Donta, you really wasn't moving like that." You. Let me tell you something. I might don't look like it right now, or maybe I do. I don't know is it just my bad boy look or whatever. You know, I don't know what it is, but I tell you what. See, I done lost a lot of weight. You know. When I got out of prison, I got sloppy. I got undisciplined. I got married, started having a whole bunch of kids, and I became a father, right? So it might don't look like that I might bag out and put that knife to your neck and do something crazy to you. See, back then, like I said, I was a good 270, 275, all muscle stacked, right? I can get back to it. Well, actually, I do need to start back working out more because I'm back doing security. You know, social media ain't paying like it used to. So, yeah, Dante back at the clubs doing security. But, like I said, in the mid-90s, towards the end of the 2000s, nobody was putting more work in the streets and in prison than me. You might got a handful of guys from Detroit and maybe one or two guys from Flint. But when it's all said and done, nobody was putting more work in than me across 3 different states, and that's a fact. Y'all wonder why, like, you see, I got a big mouth. And, you know, my channel is all over the world. You mean to tell me not one person from the penitentiaries, the USPs that everybody could get on here and get a YouTube channel and run their mouth. You mean to tell me not one person that was locked up with me ain't came out and said, yo, he wasn't moving like that. He did A, B, C, and D, but you want to know why? Because I had a lot of victims in prison, and I'm not proud of it. Y'all got to understand, prison is a different world. It's a dog eat. The only the strong survive, or the smartest survive. If you can use your brain power to manipulate and control situations, then you good. Or it's just brute strength, right? So again, like I said, ain't nobody put more work in than Dante. Nobody in the mid-90s, in the 2000s, nobody. And that's a fact. But let's get back to the story. So I'm like, so what happened? He like, man, I was dating this chick. And it always be over a girl, man. I don't know why. But he said he was dating this chick or whatever. And he said that her baby daddy was locked up or whatever. So he said that the girl that he was dating, whatever, he was dating her for 2 years. And she had a daughter, which now the daughter is 3 years old or whatever. So she was like, yeah, my baby daddy, he about to get out. And, you know, he talking about we gon' get back together. He don't care who I'm with and, you know, whoop-de-woo and all this and that or whatever. So he was like, you know, him and the baby daddy had words here and there, whatever. So he said when dude got out, he showed up at the crib. You know, he tried to pull that Snoop Dogg shit off a baby boy. You know, he come knocking on the door, but he was there. He answered the door like, what's up? And dude like, hey man, where's so-and-so at? Talking about the baby mama. He was like, she gone, but what's up? And he was like, oh, you must be her new boyfriend or whatever. It was like, yeah, I've been her dude, like, what's up? And it was like, all right, say less. And then he said he left. So my man telling me like, yo, I'm not no street guy. You know, I'm just a regular dude, man. But I will protect myself, whatever. I said, so what happened? He said, so like every day, dude would be calling her phone, like blowing her phone up, calling her bees and stuff. And, you know, I get on the phone and me and him will argue, whatever. Like, yo, that's my girl, man. Don't be disrespecting her and all this and that. So he said like 2 months of this, you know, dude, sister made a Facebook post talking about I would violate and the daughter, whatever, this 3-year-old. I said, what? He was like, yeah, he talking about, you know, they talking about I'm touching the 3-year-old, whatever, and it's up and all this and that. They, you know, they're lying on me. I said, don't tell me that's in your paperwork, man. He was like, no, that hell no, man. They were just spreading rumors, man. They were just trying to, no, I ain't in there for that. So I'm like, okay, so what happened? He was like, so basically every time I seen him in public, you know, him and his family was harassing me, man. And I'm not like that, but I got people that love and care about me too. So, you know, my cousins, my uncle, my daddy, and said, man, we was fighting these people. Like every other day, it was a fight. So one day I was getting off of work because I work at Subway closing. Him and one of his cousins ran up on me and they put a gun to my head. I said, for real? He was like, yeah. They put a gun to my head. He was like, dude, you better leave. You better leave. Get out that house. You better get out that house, whatever. So at that point, you know, yeah, we was fighting and stuff, but at that point it just got real. It just got really real. And, you know, I was gonna call the cops, but I didn't. So I go to the house and I tell her, like, look, man, I'm leaving. I'm gone. I can't continue to deal with this, man. This dude just put a gun to my head or whatever. I'm not trying to die over it. And she like, what, you ain't gonna fight for this relationship? He like, man, it ain't that, man. I don't want to have to, you know, do something to somebody. He have to go to prison or something. And she was like, man, you a punk. You sorry and all this and that. Man, just get out. So he was like, man, all right. So he said he leave, right? But he said dude is still harassing him. Dude is still coming up to his job, showing out, just doing the most. So he said that he ended up getting him you know what I'm saying? He ended up getting one of those. So he said the next time dude roll up on him again, he doing him in. He doing him in. So he said literally when he got one of those, the next day when he was closing, dude approached him again. And he put that thing to his side, like, yeah, B-A-N-word. Yeah, B-A-N-word. Yeah, I thought so. Now, he said he had his, you know, his bang bang in the car so he couldn't get to him. So he like, yeah, you got it, man. You got it, right? So dude telling him, like, yeah, I'm back with my baby mama and all this and that. And, yeah, I'm back over there in your bed and all this. Just talking real greasy to him. So he said, all right, bet. Right? So you got it. I ain't tripping off that. So he said the dude leave, right? So he say he run and jump in his car. He go to his glove compartment, pull out that big old black. You know what I'm talking about? But he said that he looking for him and he don't see him. But he like, I know where he at. So he said he sat down the street. He was like, man, you know what? I'm going to get him. So he said that the door, they stay in a small house or whatever, like a 2-bedroom house, like a maybe 600 square foot house or whatever. He said the front door open and he see the baby mama, which is his ex, kiss the guy, right? And he said when he seen that, he just got infuriated. He was just so mad. Like he said he felt this anger burning inside of him, like this fire. Right? And he said, like, he sat there for a minute and he said that he just got out the car and got the busting. Boom, 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 boom. He said he emptied the whole clip at that front door. And then he said that he jumped back in the car and he sped off. Now, he said that he didn't know if he hit anybody. He don't know if he hit the girl. He don't know if he hit the dude at all. He just know he emptied the whole clip at that front door. And so he jumped in the car, he took off. He said it had to be maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. He said he's sleeping on the couch, sleeping good, right? Sleeping real good. I guess all that frustration he had pent up inside, it just put him to sleep. I remember that I was doing some things I had no business doing. And you would think that you would be paranoid and you would stay up all night, but sometimes you just get to a point where your body just crash and you get sleep, you get rest. So I know what he meant when he said that or whatever. So nevertheless, he said that, you know, the SWAT team kicked the door in. No knock warrant. Boom, they hit the front door. Guns at his face. They cleared the house. They got him in handcuffs, right? Zip tied, not handcuffs, but they zip tied him. So they take him down to the Genesee County Station or whatever. And, you know, they let him know, like, yo, we know that you did this. He copped to it. He admitted to it. Like, yeah, I did. But what he did not know is that he hit the 3-year-old girl. The only person that got hit was the 3-year-old girl. You see, when they was kissing, the 3-year-old girl was right there. He just didn't see her. When they was kissing, when the baby mama was leaving, the ex-girlfriend was leaving and the dude and her was kissing, the 3-year-old was right there. He just didn't see her. And well, she got hit, and unfortunately, she passed away. So I said, damn, man. He said, yeah, that's what I'm here for, man. I said, well, that's deep. That's deep. I said, well, look, I said, let me give you some word of advice, man. I said, walk with me. So now we walking it. We walking the track. I said, look, because you hit the little girl or whatever, I can't rock with you. But I don't want to see you go out bad up in here, because there's guys that's in here just looking at you when they plotting on you at this moment. And he like, what? For what I did? Don't nobody know what I did? And I said, no. It ain't because what you did, is how you look. I said, you a light-skinned dude, man. You 5'10", 5'11", skin and bones, man. You a Beyonce up in here, homie. He was like, what? I said, yeah, man. It's dudes that's plotting on you right now. He was like, man, what should I do? I said, listen, only off the strength, that we from the same hood, same neighborhood, same block, really, I'm gonna hit you off with some steel. And he was like, for what? What's that? I said, man, it's a shank. It's a knife, man. He was like, man, I don't really want to get into no more trouble. I said, dude, how much time you got? He said, I got about 20, 25 years. I said, dude, you ain't got nothing but time. You could die tomorrow. So I don't want to hear none of that. Oh, I don't want to mess my time up. Man, you ain't got nothing but time. So I motioned to Al, to give me one of them sword of justice. Now, the sword of justice at this time that we had was it's like a toothbrush, right? You would burn this, you would cut this part off right here. And, all this ain't nothing but plastic. So you'll put a razor blade right there and burn it and smelt it together right there. And now you got your grip right here. You got that iron, okay? A lot of times when I did put in work or whatever, I would get like some string. I would have it like when you boxing, like a boxer, when they put that string around their hands or whatever, I would have that just like that and wrap it around my wrists. So that way, because believe it or not, when you in there putting in work and that red liquid start coming out, your hands can get slippery. You just imagine putting in that work, and next thing you know, your sword of justice go flying somewhere because it's slippery. So that's how I used to wrap it around like that, and I just have it like this, like I'm Freddy Krueger or Wolverine or something. That's an old penitentiary trick. So, Al hit him off with it. I said, man, put it, on your side or whatever. I said, listen, there's a guy over there named Big Thomas. Dude, right there's a couple guys out here just looking at you, man. I said, what unit you in? What dorm you in? He was like, I'm in D4. I said, damn. That's the unit Big Thomas in. I said, have anybody approached you yet? He was like, yeah, a couple guys, and he pointed over there. I said, oh, don't be pointing, man. Don't do that. He was like, oh, yeah, with that guy right there. I said, yeah. I said, what did he say? He said he came to me, like on my first day, he walked in my cell, and he was like, am I good? Am I straight? Do I need anything? And I told him, like, yeah, I need some hygiene, some deodorant or some shampoo or whatever. And he left, and he came back and gave it to me. I said, did you use it? He said, yeah, I use it. I said, listen, I'm going to give you the same deodorant that he gave you and the same shampoo that he gave you. Just let me know what it is. And when you get back, get that shit right back to him. Get him that and tell him that you good, right? He was like, for what? I said, because he ain't just giving you that just to give to you at all. He not giving that to you to be friendly. He giving that, he's trying to court you. He's trying to put you in a situation. So he was like, man, what you mean put me in a situation? I said, listen, I'm giving you these items. When you get back to your unit, give him this shit back, all right? So he like, all right. I said, ain't nobody giving you nothing for free up in here. He was like, well, what about you? I said, listen, I rarely do this. It's only off the strength that we from the same place that I'm gonna look out for you. He was like, all right, okay, cool, right? So I sent Tar T out to go get the shampoo and the deodorant or whatever. But he come back about 10 minutes and I get it to the dude. I'm like, when you get back to the unit, get that man that all right? And tell him you straight, you good. And if he get to talking about, oh, no, that you good, keep it. Like, no, I'm good. Give it back to him, right? Like, all right, say less. So he was like, is there anything else I should know? I said, man, you're going to have to fight, man. I said, when you walking around out here, man, put your head up, man. Walk with your head up. He was like, all right. I just don't want to be here. I said, listen, man, don't nobody want to be here but you here. So he's like, all right. So I peeled off, right? Went back to the weight pile. Got to pushing. I was pushing at least, my max was about 525, right? So I'm out there still, grinding, putting my ones and twos on or whatever. So now we leave the yard. And, Dante, as soon as I get off the weight pile, I got to hit the shower. That's immediate, right? So I peel off and I go hit the showers, right? I'm pushing that iron, right? Just pushing it, right? So I go hit the shower, whatever, and I'm sleepy. I'm tired, right? I just worked out. I done laid down, ate 2 honey buns, and I had some lime shrimp ramen noodles or whatever, right? So I'm done. So I'm laying there, and Al like, hey, Dante, man, you know that dude from Detroit that you was talking to earlier? I said, yeah. He said, man, why that dude is rolling with the Crips? So I said, huh? He was like, yeah, dude is with the Crips. I said, what you mean he with the Crips? He said, yeah, dude is with the Crips. He talking to him right now. I think he finna get on with him. So I'm like, go get Tar T or whatever. Right, because Tar T is with the Crips or whatever. So he was like, all right, he said he'll be there in a minute, whatever. So Tar T pull up on me about 20 minutes. I said, hey, what's going on with dude? It was like, I guess he want to get out. He want to get out with the Crips. I was like, is he already affiliated? He said, no, he a newbie, but man, they finna do him dirty though. I said, for what? What you mean they about to do him dirty? He said, man, yo, they about to pimp him out. I said, what you mean? He was like, well, you know his charges, you know what he did, and we just took it to a vote. I voted against it. But, we need money. We need money. And he said he wanted me down with us, and we know he a sucker. I said, damn. So for those that don't know exactly what I'm saying, let me clear it up. This dude decided that he don't want to be a lone wolf, and that's cool, because there's a lot of cats that can't survive in prison on their own merit, on their own strength, so they have to click up. Well, sometimes when you click up with these gangs or whatever, and they see that you a sucker and you just joining for protection and you really can't offer nothing, you ain't got no hands, you ain't willing, to push that blade or whatever, they definitely gonna put you to work. And putting him to work was literally putting him to work. So I would see him on the yard maybe a week later. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail of how it happened, but I can tell you why it happened, which I told y'all already, because if you're going to click up, you best to believe you better be able to offer something. And in this case, the only thing he could offer was his mouth and his, you know what I'm saying? So I would see him on the yard weeks later, hugged up with this dude, hugged up with that dude. You can see his transformation, dude walking different. You know, he got his clothes altered a certain way to make him look more fitting to his body. And I remember seeing him, right? And he came up to me. Right? I was going to the child hall or whatever. And I didn't even really recognize him. But he came up to me. They were like, hey, Dante, hey, I just want to appreciate you for talking to me when I first got here. And I'm looking at him, because on the rail, I was about to hit him. I was about to put hands on him, because the type of dude, the type of caliber dude that I was, you couldn't just walk up to me and strike a conversation unless I knew you, right? And especially if you was one of them type of guys, you definitely was going to catch the backhand, right? Because you don't speak to me directly. You speak to one of my associates to get to me. But he didn't know the rules, so I didn't, hold that against him or nothing. But he was like, I just want to thank you for, talking to me. And I do appreciate you more than you ever know. And I'm looking at him, and I said, oh, you dude from Detroit. He said, yeah, that's me. I said, oh, all right. So he stuck his hand out like this, like to give me like some dap. I said, no, you good. You good, homie. You good. Let me tell y'all something. It's something that I didn't tell y'all in the beginning that I maybe should have led with. And I hate to do it, but I gotta do it, because there's a lot of dudes that's getting out of prison that's getting in relationships with women, and they hold in a secret. Like I said, I'm not the one to tell nobody how to program. I'm not. I'm not. But at the same time, it's like, y'all, this dude got parole. And he's dating somebody that I know. I should have led with this from the beginning, but I didn't want to spoil the surprise. But he's dating somebody that I know. And her people's got suspicion that he was getting down in prison, right? And I know for a fact that there's a lantern right there that's turning colors, and I'm wearing this black hat. I know for a fact that this dude was in there tossing it up. I know for a fact. And I'm kind of at a dilemma, because I don't got nothing against this dude. He never did nothing to me. He never violated me. But at the same time, it's like, should I tell his people what he was in there doing? I mean, they got suspicions, because you can't hide that. Once you go that way and be doing that for a lot of years, it just seep in your pores. It reeks out your body that you that type of dude, right? So I'm gonna leave it to y'all. I'm gonna leave it to y'all in the comment section. Y'all let me know. Should I just mind my business and let bygones be bygones? Or should I tell on him? Put him on full blast. Let his people know, and this chick that I know that he's dating, know that the rumors is true. Because yeah, they not even really rumors, really, because it did happen. But, people lie, and people will push on your name just to hate on you. But in this case, no, it's real. He really was in there doing that. But I don't think it's my place, because like I said, I ain't got no issue with him. Me and him never bump heads or anything like that. He never ran off on me or anything. So, but I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Should I go ahead and let his people know the real of who this dude is and what he was in there doing? Or should I mind my business? Let me know in the comment section, because y'all know I trust y'all. I trust y'all advice. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all want to react to my videos, I'm giving you full permission to. Full permission. The only thing I ask is that you put hashtag the Donta Show Network in your title and in your description. That's all I ask. I give you full access. You can go back 100 videos, 800 videos back and just react to my videos. Get you a bag, right? You can critique the videos. You can say how you like it, how you don't like it, right? What you believe, what you don't believe. I'm giving you full access. The only thing I ask is that you just put hashtag the Donta Show Network and make sure you spell it right, okay? If you don't spell it right, I know, I will know, and we're gonna have an issue. Right now, y'all, I'm running a special $50 per video for promotions. If you got a business, a social media channel, a product that you want to sell, an ebook, something you selling on Amazon, if you got a brick and mortar, like a real store, if you got a restaurant, right? Don't matter what it is, get in contact with me. I got you. I'm charging right now until April 1st, $50 per video. All right? So y'all make sure y'all get in contact with me. I'm going to have that link pinned at the top of the comment section, my email. Matter of fact, so y'all can contact me directly. Do not contact me, you know, running your mouth, talking trash and all that trolling. But I'm going to leave my business number at the top of the comment section too, so y'all can get directly in contact with me. All right. I prefer y'all to email me, which I will have at the top of the comment section too. But shoot me a text if you want to do business. I'm only accepting Cash App, Zelle, and PayPal as payment. All right. With that, y'all, this is your big partner, Donta. Let me know in the comment section, should I put dude on blast or keep my mouth closed? With that, y'all be safe. I'm gone.
Hey, y'all, if y'all like action-packed crime fighting videos, check out my man King J and Queen ZZ. I'm going to have their channel pinned at the top of the comment section for y'all to go check out.